Guys, once again, thank you so much for coming out to chat with Wires Crossed. Could you begin by introducing yourselves?
Sure. I'm Charlie Croom. I'm a senior in Solomon College. I'm from East Lansing, Michigan originally, and I'm a computer science major, so graduating this year with that.
Cool.
And I'm Jared Shenson. I'm also a senior in Solomon, and I'm originally from Green Bay, California, just outside of San Francisco, and I'm a cell biology major.
Really cool. And what are your roles in Yale Bluebook?
Yeah, so we kind of Jared's a fantastic graphics designer, and I'd worked a little bit more on kind of the database side of things. So we split up originally. I did a lot of the back-end stuff, database coding, and Jared did the design for the program and a lot of the front-end coding. But since then we've both been working on it so much that there's a lot of crossover. So we've learned a lot about the other areas too.
What is Yale Bluebook?
So Yale Bluebook is a site for students to search for courses, really dig deeply into the information behind them and understand if it's a course that they're interested in shopping, and then manage all of those different things that they're interested in during shopping period and ultimately transition into making a final choice for the semester.
So when did you decide to create Yale Bluebook and why?
So I think when we started working on Bluebook initially, we took 2 years of having used, the Yale's existing tools, and we were just fed up with it. And we knew from all of our friends that it was the same case across the board. And those problems stemmed from, in most part, actually, the number of pop-ups that occur on the current site, and that makes it really difficult for you to do a number of really important things when you're shopping. Number one is being able to quickly compare multiple courses. 2 is being able to somehow favorite or really keep track of potentially dozens of courses simultaneously that you're interested in. And then thirdly is it makes it really difficult to access all of the data that Yale makes available to its students. So one of the things that we're all really lucky to have as students here is all of the evaluation data that we have to submit at the end of each semester. And Yale has kind of hid that behind about 4 pop-ups in the past, and students are going to access that with every course that they're going to be somewhat interested in. So it's trying to pull all of that data to the forefront and figuring out a way to facilitate students easily accessing everything that they might be interested in.
That's really cool. So how long did it take to go from idea to execution?
I think Jared first had the idea back right after our sophomore year, so fall of our junior year, and actually had a first iteration of it designed and was presenting it and checking it out with friends and some faculty members, and that was November or so of that year. And so he had that idea. About February or March, we found out about the YCC App Challenge, and we said, great, this is a perfect platform to actually implement it, kick something out that people are going to use. So we went to spring break, and we said we're going to start working. First week of spring break, the second day in, we just gotten started, laid out all the plans, and Jared decided he didn't like the design. So we threw it out. He redesigned something that first week, and then the second week we started coding it and spent that second week of spring break and 2 weeks right after spring break really just speed rushing it through to get it out for the App Challenge. And the reception that it received, over the summer we launched it with a few friends just to clean up some bugs. And in the fall when people came back, they were just thrilled with it, and we were thrilled to see that kind of reception. So from there we took a lot of suggestions and comments people had and worked them into the final product that you see today. So when we presented at the App Challenge last year, we didn't have things like multiple worksheets. We didn't have the current layout you see for evaluations. A lot of the major things there today weren't there initially. So it's been a very cool process to go from way back when to where it is today.
So what kind of response have you gotten from students?
It's been overwhelmingly positive. So as Charlie kind of mentioned, when we launched it for the App Challenge, we put out a few emails. It was not like a big mass spamming of panelists. It was people who we knew. And they shared it around with some friends, and we got a few hundred users just kind of in that first week, just kind of beta testing it essentially. And everybody loved it. They said, this is fantastic, it's exactly, what we need, and completely rethinks the way that, we can do search, course, and shopping. And as Charlie said, when we launched it, so over the summer we did a lot of iteration, and then we launched it in the fall for the first full semester of student use, and it took off to over 50% of the undergraduate student body.
That's awesome.
Was using the app. And we were getting emails, Facebook posts, submissions through our website form of all these people saying, it's fantastic, I can't believe you guys finally built this, we love it. And certainly, it's not to say there weren't a few gripes, but most of those gripes were actually really ended up being feature requests.
Cool.
That we were able to implement. And for us, it's been a lot about trying to respond to our users' feedback. And the reception has just grown since then. And in the spring semester, we hit close to 70% of the undergraduate student body using it.
Nice.
And one of the other cool things is, as Jared kind of mentioned, we received about 250 different people sending us comments that was either, anything from this is great or this is great and here's one thing I would change. So a lot of what's kind of gotten it to where it is today is user requests, from big things, kind of like I mentioned, the multiple worksheets, a lot of different things, to really small nitpicky things. People say it would be great if this were a little bit smaller, or, really just fine details. And we also really do feel that the users are helping us make it what it is, because it's through them that we've really been able to make it into something that people feel connected to and love how it works. So we do email back every single one of them, I think, or we at least try to. I'm sure some.
I think we have. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
so we go through each one of those, and we either say this is a great idea, you should check it out because we've actually already done it, or this is a great idea. What if we tweaked it in this way? Because it's a conversation with our users. So we listen to what they say, and sometimes a lot of people say the same thing different ways. And so we talk, and we're like, well, how can we most effectively address what they're really asking for? So it's been a great process to really work with a lot of the users and improve it.
And that's been actually a really important process for us, because as we thought about turning this into a product that was really going to reach the entire student body, we realized that a weakness of Yale's IT group and most colleges' IT groups is that they don't actually interface with the student body. They just say, well, this is what's available, we're going to build it, we're going to release it, and if they don't like it, oh well.
And they start with what they think. They put out this product that they think people are going to use and like. And that's something, in the first iteration, that's essentially what we did. That's all we had to go on, was what Jared and I thought people were going to like and how they were going to use it. And it's good that we were, close enough to get people using it. But since then, it's got us, another 20% of the way there. Is seeing how people actually use it and kind of iterating on that initial design.